What is up, guys? You know what this is. This is Bruin Steel back at it with another video, and today, as you can see, I'm gonna make a video about my thoughts on the upcoming season opponents, and let's get to it. So, this came out a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, I can't remember, but decent schedule. You know, this season we had the most toughest schedule ever, but this one's pretty decent. You know, let's start with the home opponents. I mean, like, of course, home, we gotta play the three divisional rivalries, the Baltimore Ravens, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Cleveland Browns. It's gonna be interesting next season. We play the Kansas City Chiefs at home. Last time we played them, we ended up beating them. It was 2 seasons back. We needed to beat them to make the playoffs, I believe. It was that season. You know, this is going to be a really interesting matchup. You know, Kansas City played really good this season. You know, dangerous with Alex Smith. They beat us this season. The fact that we had Larry Jones starting for us, so Landry Jones starting with us, so it was a really tough matchup. But we played Kansas City at home. It's going to be interesting. Next, we play the Dallas Cowboys. This is going to be an interesting matchup. You know, I go to Steelers games once for a while every year, so there's a choice. I might go to one of these games. So most likely I'll go to a home game, because if I go to a away game, I'm not going to go to Dallas. What the fuck? But last time Dallas played us at home, I can't quite remember. But I remember the last time we played them, we ended up losing by an overtime field goal. Ben Roethlisberger threw an interception pass. It was stupid, but, you know, it's going to be a great game. So, you know, I hate the Cowboys with a passion. You know, I just can't stand them. You know, of course, I hate my rivalries. And, you know, that's the team that I hate the most outside the division, the Dallas Cowboys. So, once I do a video for them, it's going to be a hate week. So, we played the New York Giants, you know, a team that, like, struggled last season. You know, they just, like, seem to, like, you know, give up games. You know, they have a lead and then they just fuck it up. You know, against the Patriots, who were coming around with a win, but Tom Brady is just so good. They had a lead against the Falcons and they fucked it up. They had a comeback against the Panthers and they fucked it up. So, last time we played the Giants, we ended up beating them in Heinz Field. We had Mike Wallace at the time, so we haven't played the Giants in forever. This is a home matchup. I think the last time we played them was in like 2000. I think the last time we played them was like 2009. I can't remember at home, but last time was in New York and we beat them 24-20. I remember that game, but it's gonna be an interesting matchup. So next we got the New York Jets. This is gonna be a home matchup. Of course, this is gonna be. They beat us recently in New York. Tough match. It's gonna be interesting. Jets fans want their revenge because we kind of eliminated them in the playoff. Because apparently last season we had to beat the Browns and the Jets would have to lose to the Buffalo, but it didn't really matter. But last time we played them, they ended up beating us. But I know we had some really good home matchups with the Jets. You know, of course, when we went to the Super Bowl, ended up losing to the Packers. We beat them in the AFC Championship game, and then the same season they beat us at home in the regular season. The AFC Championship game was our revenge, so I'm not sure if we played them again after that season. I believe we played them in 2012. But anyways, going on to the next opponent, we got the New England Patriots. Of course, we lost to them last season, week 1. This is in Heinz Field. Last time we played them at Heinz Field, we ended up beating them 2011. So hopefully it's a repeat. But New England, this is a dangerous team. They blew us the fuck out of us when we played them in Foxborough, wherever you call it. Close game. I think the Patriots might win this game, but we just have to make it fine. You know, Heath Miller's gone, so it's going to be pretty hard. You know, going on to the away opponents. Again, we played the three divisional rivalries, the Baltimore Ravens, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Cleveland Browns. You know, it is what it is. Away opponents, we played the Buffalo Bills. I remember last time we played them, we ended up beating them. I believe it was one season. I think it was like 3 seasons, 2 seasons ago. I can't remember, but I remember we ended up beating them at home. But this is in Buffalo. Buffalo seemed to be a really good home team last season. I mean, like I think they were pretty good. So that's gonna be an interesting matchup. Um, and next up, we got the Indianapolis Colts. We played the Colts for home so many years now. Um, both times we destroyed them. I mean, like the fact that both of them were in home Heinz Field. So first time we threw like Ben Roethlisberger threw 6 touchdown passes, and the second time was, I believe, last season. Yes, last season we just absolutely destroyed them. But this is away, so it might be a really close game. The fact maybe it won't be probably a fucking blowout. So the Colts have been playing well. It should be a good game. So I think it's Andrew Luck, was injured all season, so the big story is he going to be 100% healthy? I think so. Andrew Luck is a huge thing for the Colts. I hate to see, quarterbacks go down, kind of like, Andrew Luck went down, Peyton Manning was out the entire season, and look what happens. They won the Super Bowl, and Baltimore Ravens, they lost Joe Flacco. Sucks to see him go out, and Andy Dalton got injured just at the end of the season due to the fact they faced us with some injuries. Hate to see him out because I just hate those fans that say that, oh, I hope your quarterback gets hurt or something. I just hate when Joe Flacco or Andy Dalton goes down because the games won't be more competitive. You know, I mean, like when AJ McCarron replaced Andy Dalton in that game, it was kind of competitive, but the Steelers gave him the ass whooping. So, I mean, like, and then that Baltimore Ravens game, ugh, we just got destroyed. And then the series say destroyed, but anyways, going on to the next game, we got the Miami Dolphins. Last time we played them, they ended up beating us. It was crazy. It was like the last play of the game. We almost ran it for a touchdown. We kept on passing it. There was snow on the ground. We thought that we won the game, but apparently I don't know who it was with the ball, but he stepped barely out of bounds, and the referees called it off. I'm not gonna make excuses. That was a goddamn good game. Miami ended up beating us. It was, I think, one of those seasons. Yeah, it was that season. It was terrible. We started like 0-4 or something like that. And this was a must-win for us, and we didn't get it. So this should be a extreme matchup. So yeah. Next up, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. This is going to be a tough matchup. Philadelphia Eagles, they just got rid of Jim Kelly like a couple months ago. Eagle fans are good enough for it. The Eagles are unpredictable. Like, you don't know when they will show up. They beat the Patriots. They just lose. Like some people like say that they're like, the god of like fucking football. Eagle fans, they're crybaby bitches, but I don't hate them. Some Eagle fans I have respect for us, but last time we played the Eagles, we ended up beating them. We beat them in Heinz Field a couple seasons back. It was a game-winning field goal. That was the game Richard Mendenhall was back, so this should be an interesting game. I'm hoping to see some Eagles vidmakers. There's a lot of hilarious vidmakers. A lot of people are starting beef with EDP. EDP is a hilarious vidmaker. I think he's hilarious, but he's fucking fat as fuck. But I heard from someone that if you meet him in real person, he's actually short as fuck. So there's Eagles fans for Life 17. I'm hoping to see his video. Eagle Speed, been talking for him on social media. Was voted most hated, so but he'll be doing the TC Awards. So again, this Eagles game is gonna be pretty good in my opinion. I think the Eagles are a good home team. So, and not least, we got the Washington Redskins. We end up beating them at home in Heinz Field a couple seasons back. Washington, they won the division. I was clearly shocked because the fact that they haven't won the division since like whatever. And they have Kirk Cousins, and they might give RG3. So, but anyways, that's about it. Really interesting matchup's gonna be next season. I do believe we can make the playoffs again if we work hard. You know, Heath Miller not on our team anymore is huge. You know, Jesse James is going to replace him possibly if he's good enough. But you know, it is what it is. You know, I still think we can win most of these games. The fact that we have Ben Roethlisberger, the fact that we have these three fast trios of Antonio Brown, Martavis Ryan, and Marquise Whedon. You know, these fast wide receivers. There's a tight end, Jesse James. He played 8 games. He's pretty good. So I say that maybe we could get into the playoffs as I believe we can go 10-6 again. I mean, like, I have to see what the schedule is. You know, this is just the opponents, but at the time of each game, like who we face in week 1, whatever, hasn't came out. I might do a prediction of what our record will be. So that's it. See you.